Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Another Zod back at you, y'all sabes. Yeah, I always say y'all sabes. That's just my, my little thing. But anyways, I just wanted to get into something that people been asking me. It's pretty much, well, I'm gonna get into two things. One of them is about how Mexicans that run with the blacks, and then I also want to talk about something that I had brushed on a long time ago, which was homies that got more of an urban slang. You know what I mean? We'll just call it the urban slang because a lot of people like to classify it as something else. But before I even get into that, I'm gonna send my shots out. Shouts out to this dude, James the DJ. I don't know exactly what area or where he's from. I don't think he bangs or anything, but I think you like his spit is something totally different. A lot of these cats that are asking me to shout them out, they rap different and it's something different. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, just go check it out. You might be into it. And for somebody, I want to send a shouts out to this guy. They call him Gold Tree Johnny or Johnny. He got a song I think called 41. He's fresh out of Sac. Mozzie been and them been really like putting it down in Sac. So haven't been too many people shining, but I think you like this dude spit. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. But let's just get into it. I know that the camera's a little bit shoddy. I'm still using this cheap little Samsung phone with a lamp actually right next to it because I'm ghetto like that. My camera I still need the lighting, and I think my laptop I need to update it, but that's besides the point. Let me just get into it. Oh, and shouts out to King Squad TV, always representing, and to anybody that has been representing, saludos anyway. So let's get into it. So basically this about, Mexicanos that run with blacks. And I'm gonna tell you straight out, like, I've seen a few of them. In juvenile hall, I used to see them all the time. I've seen dudes from, I can name their hoods, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna get into all that. I'm just gonna say that if you do decide to go that route, you know what I mean, I have nothing against you, which is funny because these are the guys we usually stare at each other that because we got the most issue with each other. I guess it's just some little twisted game of whose identity is different. You know what I mean? They don't like me because who I run with, and I never really tripped on them. But obviously, this opposition, you know what I mean? But that was before. My advice to you would just to be avoid everything all together and just avoid even being involved in anything, because at the end of the day it's going to be a hard road, and that's not to deter you from being who you need to be, because I think a lot of people nowadays tend to do crazy things. You got people killing themselves constantly because they're not accepted. I mean, you see it all the time amongst dudes that are gay, you know what I mean, that aren't able to come out because their people ridicule them and ride them like like they're basically trash, but they're just different, you know what I mean? But if you're Mexicano and that's where your heart's at and you want to run that route, I have nothing to say about it. You might have people in the comments say something about it. You might have people in the world that might look at you different, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. If you feel comfortable in that setting, you just got to go your route and understand that the road is going to be extremely hard. For me, it was really hard in some cases, but I was already used to it because I started from a young age. Like I said, I would rather you just avoid the situation entirely and just stay normal, stay in school, get your books straight. Because at the end of the day, money is everything. And people say different, but money is everything. Stay in school, get your education. Don't be like me. I'm still trying to get my high school diploma. That's a subject entirely different. But yeah, for Mexicanos that get busted and they're running with blacks, it's really hard. You know what I mean? That's why you don't see many of them. There's a lot of them still on the street that just don't get busted. But for the ones that's busted, I remember I ran into Taco from 60, Mexican dude. Another dude from I think he said he was Puerto Rican, but other fool said from Queen Street said that he was Mexicano. And I think for the most part, people kind of avoided him because they thought he was Puerto Rican, but there was still people that felt some type of way about him, was like, hey, if it ever crack, I'm gonna do that for what? And that's just what you just gotta face. I faced opposition all the time, and a lot of people like to say, oh, it's because you don't like your people. It wasn't because of that. It's always been because of loyalty, and that's why when you see Mexicanos that run with the blacks, it's out of loyalty. They feel the swag, they feel that vibe, they feel that energy. It's like high notch. You got homegirls that they detest like certain things, but then you got other high nots that like the way dudes talk, the swag. They like all that boastfulness and be out there always fighting with the activity. They like that. That's something that they're into. And I think in most cases that's what it comes down to for certain Latinos. that run with black gangs, and that's not to say like Boricuas and Dominicanos and all that. It's everybody's different. A lot of people like to categorize people, but they're all different. A lot of people look at me a certain way, but I'm different. You know what I mean? And I'm always gonna be exactly who I was made to be. That's Blackie from Mexicano Barrio, and that's just the way it is. It's never gonna change. I'm already 40. You know what I mean? This year I'll be 41. So, but I understand the road now. I understand that, for me, like I said, I was always used to the activity. I got family that are sangres, which are damus, and I got family that are kiwi. So it's always activity. So I learned how to chunk them or slang them at a young age. So I got used to that. You know what I mean? But as far as like being Mexicano and running with the Morenos, the blacks, whatever you want to say, in jail, it's a hard road ahead for you, because you're gonna have not only are you gonna have people against you from all sides, just waiting for something to crack, to do something to you, but you're also gonna have those amongst you that don't like it, because you have a lot of people that be on here ridiculing me and saying, yeah, Mexicanos had to disrespect you, and there's a few that have, and we have got them up, and it's just the way it is. It happens. Not everybody's gonna like you, but for a Mexicano running with the blacks in there, it's a lot different. And if your homies don't got your back, you can get ate up. See, mine off the back, they had my back 100%. It don't matter if they didn't like me, whatever, but it cracked, they're gonna jump for me. I never was in a situation to I just got rushed and nobody jumped for me. I've got rushed a few times, but I'm not a small cat, so I handle I handle what I need to handle. And luckily I was able to make it out of prison. But let me tell you, if just a word of advice, if you're gonna go that route, you know what I mean, I'm not mad at you. You know what I mean? I chose my route, and I love what I represent. And even though I'm no longer out there participating in all these activities, I still got love for my hood more than anything. Sometimes I think I got more love for my hood than I got for family members. Not all family members, some of them are, you know what I mean? But for the most part, my hood has always been everything, and I've always chose my hood over everything. Kids, everything. It's always my hood, and I made mistakes doing that, but now I'm older, so I understand the road and the life that I led wasn't conducive to the future. I was just thinking of immediate gratification. But like I said, to the Mexicanos that actually go to jail and run with them, understand that it's gonna be a hard road. And your best bet, I'll just give you a word of advice. If you're gonna do that and you're just bent on going that route and it's just what you feel comfortable with, just be respectful. Because for the most part, if you're respectful, it's like me. If I would have went in there just disrespectful, it's not like I hit or nothing, but I wasn't outright disrespectful to cats, you know what I mean, trying to flaunt something, because that will get you ate up. It don't matter who's around you, whatever. If somebody feels disrespected by your presence, which I'm not talking about just having you there, but if they feel disrespected by your presence, they're gonna go at you with everything. I know a dude, he's a sangre, and he was Mexicano, but this dude just was doing too much. Once he got comfortable and realized that they weren't tripping on him and allow him to kick it, you know what I mean? He got cocky and he was doing too much, and for that the homie ate him up. I ate him up like bad. You know what I mean? And just looking at the look on that dude's face was kind of funny, because not so much that the fact that he got ate up was funny, but the simple fact that he tried to play super hard. See, me, I've been in situations to where, I've been not boastful, but I had to be way out with it because dudes were way out with me. But I had to calm it down and realize that trying to be too hard in the cage and get you ate up, because there's always somebody that's bigger and badder than you. It don't matter how good you chunk them, you getting rushed by 5 or 6 people with them things. It's like, it's kind of hard to maneuver. But I never switched my stilo for nobody, so I'm not telling you to switch your stilo. If you feel comfortable that route, who am I to tell you anything? You know what I mean? I would be a straight hypocrite to tell you, oh, you shouldn't run. Don't get me wrong, I have told fools, hey, you should, come to this side, because it's going to be easier for you. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to just see people hurt for no reason, but they still chose to go the route that they went. So, all I can do is respect it. If you're willing to weather everything that comes along with it, then I can give you nothing but respect. But like I said, you would get more respect if you just avoid the situation entirely. Like, you know what I mean? Just go to school, do what you got to do, and get that money and take care of your family. Because at some point, I mean, most guys want to have a family. You want to have a nice car, you want to have a nice house, you want to have a roof over your head, you know what I'm saying? For somebody that has actually been homeless, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's best to just get your education, just avoid the drama all the way around. Because if you can see right now, dude, you got dudes in Compton shooting up funerals, and you know you got all this mess going on. You got kids dying because they've been bullied. You got so-called gangbanging rappers pushing up on dudes that consider weenies. You got, like, it's like that dude Casanova. Casanova says something that was entirely righteous. Like, if you want to get to a certain level and deal with certain people, you got to act a certain way. You got to become a certain way. But when he pushed up on what's his name, that little skinny fool, Soldier Boy, that I'm like, come on, you pushed up on that dude over a chick at a radio. Like, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Don't get involved, dude, because most of these cats are just watered down and they're gonna get you caught up. But if you just bent on representing something and that's where your heart is at, then I have nothing to say about it. But understand, for anybody that's hearing this, if you are Mexicano or you are another, you know, raza that's running with blacks, or just vice versa, blacks running with Mexicano, it's gonna be hard for you. And understand, if you can't, if mentally you ain't strong enough to weather that, because the physicality is nothing. After a while, you get used to that. But if mentally you can't handle that, then you want to avoid it all the way around, because it'll only make you either check in, which lock it up, or you're gonna go out backwards and try to switch up and gonna get ate up anyway. You know what I mean? Just avoid it all the way around. But and to the homies, real quick, the ones that, you know, they got that urban slang, a lot of people just gotta understand, dude, it's where they grew up. Just like me, it's where they grew up. It's something that they're comfortable with, and some people are just in love with the swag. You see it now in a lot of rap that with homies. You see the swagger starting to come out. It's a different era. That's why on my brand, which I'm gonna drop in a link, which is Zod. You know, it's a new culture of dominance. The old school no longer runs it. It's the new school. And for the people that like to, you know, kind of piss on the new rap style, but if you look at their genre, they've brought more races together than we've did in a long time. So even though it's drug-infused culture, a lot of it has brought them together. So you go to those type of concerts, you're seeing black, Mexicano, white, everything. They're not tripping. They're mingling styles. They're doing all that. You know what I mean? That's why I hate on nobody. I don't hate on gays. I don't hate on nobody. You got to live your life according to the way you want to live it. And if you're going to be about that life, just make sure you keep it solid. That's it, you know. Weather all storms. And as long as you do that, you're going to get your respect. And understand that some people are just going to hate you, but you got to brush that to the side and go on with your life. But yeah, that's basically how it is. You know what I mean? I can't really get details to exactly what goes on in there, but when it comes to them, it's hard. I think it's harder for them than it's us, because I always had backing. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. And I've seen some of them to where if it wasn't their homie from their hood, they weren't getting no back. And that's just how it is. But on that note, your boy Zod is going to let you go. But go ahead and check out these other guys. Oh, and I got a channel coming out that's nothing but politics for the people that like to go on that page. Hopefully you go ahead and check it out. When I drop my first video, I'll drop the link. But on that note, you want to enjoy the rest of your day. Buenas noches.